everybody, today I got something special for everybody. We're going to talk about these upcoming elections, but I have some special guests with me, some very, very special guests with me. And we had originally called ourselves the Astro Geeks, and we had first predicted Trump's win back in, what was it, y'all, what year was that? Shit, it felt like 20 years ago. When did we predict that? 2017?
I think it was 2016, yeah.
2016. So back in 2016, we were on it, man. I remember fumbling with my notes that night, being mad because I was late. It was just so much going on, but it was, like I said, a powerful thing that lasted, and we were right. We were correct. Today, we're going to look at the two candidates that are up, Mr. Joe Biden, okay, and then Trump. We are going to Joe Biden. We're going to go to Joe. We're going to go to Joe. And I'm not going to say, and I got these phrases in my mind about him, but it's just because I keep hearing them, okay? It's not because I don't know this man, okay? I never hung out with Joe Biden. Just looked at his chart and watched some videos, okay? So, going with the same row, I like our flow. April, what's up? What do you think about Mr. Joe?
Okay, so of course the first thing that stood out to me is that he has the big like stellium in Scorpio. Like every personal planet except for the moon is all in Scorpio, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I look at the transits that are going on, well, and then he has a moon in Taurus. Yeah, if he was born in the morning, like they have him online, then he has a Taurus moon.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah, if that's correct. But so if it is, then that means that he has the planet Uranus is affecting his moon and also gonna start to eventually oppose all of his Scorpio stellium, over the next several years. Because I don't know, that's how I geek out. Is like I always gotta look ahead. But and so this time, this decade is definitely one that is bringing a lot of like, well, first of all, Uranus can bring popularity. It can bring popularity amongst the masses, attention on you from the masses. So it's definitely bringing that to him, but it's also like a huge life-changing transit too, to shift you like you're like in a lightning storm, like a tornado with lightning in it, like being shot somewhere else, like, all the time. So I do see that as life-changing transits, but I don't really see too many that point to like a presidency. I don't really see too much
great power.
Yeah, like there's an eclipse that's going to happen on his Saturn, on his natal Saturn and natal Uranus. So, that could bring something, but I don't know, just intuitively, just feeling out his chart, I don't really
look strong.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's got a lot of super strong presidential transits popping off. And I don't know if the people are going to really be down with that Scorpio stellium energy too. Like I haven't watched any videos. I don't, like I said,
you ain't see the video, girl. You gotta watch. Well, no, you don't have to do nothing. You know what's up. You don't have to do anything. Just look at this chart.
Yeah, like I told you, like I purposely just wanted to dive in blind, just looking at charts and transits and leave it at that.
Yeah,
totally unbiased.
She is very objective, everybody. Very objective.
I'm trying to be, but yeah. So a Scorpio stellium, I don't see a lot of likable, like, popular, because you have to look at like if someone's going to be popular amongst now, like I said, he is having transits that can possibly bring that. But it won't be until later in the decade that they really start to hit his Scorpio.
And he's old, girl. Damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you say? Like,
when is his break?
I know, like, who knows if he'll be around, right? But yeah, but I don't really see. And of course, I'm sketchy about his birth time too. They have him as a Sag rising. If that's true, the North Node and eclipses are happening in his 7th house, which does affect like people and popularity amongst people.
Right.
So, he's got a little bit of an advantage if that is correct. But I also like to look at the 10th and the 11th houses too. Like, do you have major transits there? Do you have major
Yeah.
eclipses and stuff? And if his ascendant is correct, I don't see any of that pop in. And then the rulers of those houses in this chart they have for him, they're located in the 12th house. That's hidden, that's not being seen by the world, and very much. And it's in Scorpio, like, once again. And then so I don't really and then the rulers, there's not anything that's hitting the rulers of his uh perceived 10th and 11th houses either. So I don't really see I don't see as many strong points for him. There's a few, but not as many as the other candidates, is what I feel and I see.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I ain't got nothing to say about that. Because you hit it. I think that what you're saying is pretty dope. Next, Gemini. What you got to say?
Yeah, me and Cosmic Homegirl are on the same page here. I was looking at his chart and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how did he get here? Like, how did he get in the that's
he was dreaming. He was wishing upon a star with that Neptune in the 10th house. He was just dreaming his way to that shit, and it worked. He got. I think he's a little intuitive too. Y'all, let me stop. You have to keep going, Gemini.
Right. So yeah, I looked at his initial chart, and then I was like, okay, he's old, and with people of his age, I feel like your progressions are very much important, because that's speaking of the immediate point you're at right now. Like, a lot of the natal promises have been fulfilled by then.
That's deep. I like that.
Right. So I went to spring. He's a progressed Aquarius, which is favorable for this time period. This is what kind of. So I'm gonna let y'all know. Like, I'm gonna take a guess on who I think is gonna win.
Wait, we're all gonna do that at the end. We're gonna do that at the end.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna say I really just don't know, because yeah, it can go either way. So I seen that he is that progressed Aquarius sun, which is needed right now, which can show if he were to get elected. I think at this point, his evolution, he'd be willing to let go of what I think a lot of others in his generation, that Pluto and Leo, not wanting to let go of that control. I think he'd be more open-minded, and him teaming up with Kamala, that seems divine in that way, because she's a person who would challenge him on particular things.
Aquarius.
Right, so I don't necessarily feel like he has any major transits that would necessarily support him winning on that day. But one thing, his Mars, which is natally in Scorpio, will be conjunct the transiting sun that day, and then that Mars is progressed into Capricorn, which can still therefore signify coming into some type of authority. And then the fact that he's Saturn in Gemini, so, and that with the North Node and everything going on, at some point, being that authority as well. But yeah, it just doesn't seem like a person that the Aquarius age needs. It just doesn't feel like it's him. Then I just want to comment on the Scorpio stellium. Yeah, Scorpio energy is a thing where it's like, it's not what you can see. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. You're either attracted towards this person's energy or repelled by it. And once again, I just think at this day and time, 2020, that energy doesn't necessarily mesh up with popularity and all of that. And I just feel like no matter what, we're not gonna really get a gauge on who this individual is. So that Neptune in the 10th, to the public, he remains some type of a mystery. And that in turn, I think could hurt his chances. But yeah, those are my thoughts on on
Okay.
Mr. Biden.
Okay. Karina, what's up?
Okay.
Karina gonna bring the realness. Okay, Karina. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Y'all just let me know if I cut it out.
Yes.
Well, I think I agree with most of what has been said before. I just think that the approach is, if he's going to gain authority, is a little interesting to me, because he's already been vice president, so I feel like he's been in authority. But I guess when we're talking about presidency, we're saying authority, the top chair. And so that I agree with, with what everybody has said. But when you look at like fame houses, I look at the 10th house for sure. I also look at the 11th house, because that's like your followers. But I also look at the 7th house, because I feel like that's your ability to relate to people. And with if this is accurate, Saturn in the 7th house is like his ability to be in authority and be relatable to people has been one of his main like lifelong obstacles, and trying to figure out how to really gain a adoration and relatability to people. But I think that he has been in an authoritative position for a long time, and he's rise to that occasion. So I feel like what Gemini was saying about basically his natal chart is aging, and a lot of his life lessons have come to their end. I really feel I agree with that, if that's exactly what he's saying. But that south node in the first house is going to be probably one of the biggest things that tells me that he's at the end of what people know about him. Basically what you see about Biden is what you're going to get. There's not going to be any new stuff that I feel comes to the surface about Biden. And if you're looking for something very interesting to dig deep into Biden, or if I am, it's really just hard to find at this point. I just think that what you see is what you get with Biden. One of the things that I find is also that Saturn speaks to me so much in Gemini, because he's been working on his voice, like working on his expression. I feel like there has been some questionable things about how he speaks, maybe like stuttering or things like that. So I feel like there's just certain things about what's going on with Biden that it is because of age. He's just not at the forefront of it, but he is where he is because of the work that he's done. And in a lot of ways, I feel like his chart is saying, with Saturn in the 7th house, with Neptune up there as well, that he's been working on his authority and being as authoritative in a position that he's going to get in this lifetime. And that's pretty much my take on that.
Wow. Okay. I love I love this, because you guys use so many different ways to come to your conclusions. And I love hearing how all the different ways you use astrology. Astrology is just so vast and deep, and just, So my take on Biden, I'm gonna have to get raw. I'm gonna have to get a little raw, and in the most objective tone that I can possibly try to, because I know the trolls is gonna come for me with this, but I got to talk about what we're all talking about. So I notice there are a lot of videos and there are a lot of accusations that are accusing him of messing with young people. Okay. And, there's the videos. Have you guys heard of any videos going around with him being too close to kids and stuff like that? You guys heard anything about that? Seen anything? Okay. Well, I've been seeing.
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay. So there are these videos that are going around. They call him Pedo Joe or Creepy Joe Biden is this thing that they have going on. And I believe to address that is that Uranus that is in his 5th house right now of children. Now, I'm not saying that because of that, he did it or he's doing that or it's true. I'm not saying that, but I'm just what is addressing that mix up in that issue. I feel like that Uranus that's crossing his moon, it wasn't good. It was nasty when it crossed his moon. It squared his Pluto, it squared his Jupiter, it opposed his 10th house. It was nasty. And I believe that that was those accusations that are coming out, which I think is being pushed under the rug really well if you guys don't know about it. Also, would also to address to that issue that, because these are for the people that aren't crazy, the people that are interested in this, because there's a certain half that are pro-Trump and are speaking about this, and then there's the other half that are pro-Biden and that are completely like, I don't give a shit what he did. I'm voting for Biden. I don't care. Somebody told me, I mean, people have said horrible things to me, like they don't care what he did as long as they can get Trump out of office. I don't know if that's a good mentality, but hey, to each their own. So another issue I wanted to talk about is his Pluto is squaring his Mercury and Mars, which is conjuncting. I always think Mercury and Mars conjuncting, and especially in Scorpio, ill aspected, is nasty. I really don't like that at all. I think it makes a very power hungry person. And it makes a person like, man, if you piss that Joe, you think Joe Biden's smiling? Okay, yeah, all that Sagittarius is in it smiling and shit. Piss Joe Biden off. And like I said, I'm trying to be careful with my words. I'm not saying he's a hitman or he'll kill you. I am just saying he is a very strategic, formidable opponent. Okay, that's what I say. I got to temper my words. He is a very strategic opponent. So he's gonna come for Trump this election. Y'all think it's gonna be sweet because he look all sweet and he old. I really don't think he's gonna play that game. I don't think it's gonna be that game. And I think his team, he's gonna have, you know, a strong team behind him. Also, I was making jokes when I said he was intuitive, but I really do think Joe Biden is intuitive, y'all. I think he's like, or he's got some kind of connection to the other side. If his birth time is correct, he's got very strong access to the spirits beyond. And I know it sounds crazy. This is just a regular political dude, Joe Biden, but you really don't know what's going on behind this dude's. I mean, he's like secret within secret within secret. And what I mean by that, everybody that's listening, is the 8th house is the house of the secrets that we consciously keep. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio is the secrets that we consciously keep. We know we're keeping this secret, okay? The 12th house is our unconscious. You know, I always get those two, not confused, but mixed up when it comes to the 12th house. The moon is subconscious and the 12th is unconscious, right?
Word.
I don't know why I get those two. So yes, so now we got unconscious secrets. So this is secrets within secrets within secrets in a person. Like Karina said, you are not going to get to the bottom of Joe Biden. All you're going to get is that smile, Sagittarius on the ascendant, if this is correct birth time. Another thing I did not like, Uranus opposing his Mercury. See, if you're going to have planets in Scorpio, for me personally, if I see somebody with planets in Scorpio, I want to see those planets, well, aspected of the dignities in good houses, because it's like, how is this person using that Scorpio power? Now, I believe in some ways he used it for good. I don't know about prison reform, which he will not, he has admitted, yes, mass incarceration, I did it, and I'm not saying sorry for it. You could look that up. He said it, he's not apologizing, and that's just the way it is. And I also believe that has to do with that Mercury conjuncting his Mars. Like, you know, I said what I said, it is what it is. So as far as that day though, and I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. As far as that day, I feel like it almost looks like whatever happens, he's going to be happy with it. No, seriously. His Venus is going to be conjuncting his Neptune, which is also going to be trining his Saturn. He's going to have a Saturn trine Venus and Uranus trine Venus. It looks like he's going to be like, I'm cool with whatever. If he wins, he's happy. And if he loses, I think he's going to be feeling just as good. And he's going to still get gains. He's still going to gain in some kind of way. That's just my take on Biden. Anybody else want to chime in and throw stuff in on top of that?
I just wanted to say that I love everything that you're saying, and I do think that he's, what's the word, impartial, which sounds really crazy because he's the lead in the Democratic side, but I really feel like that South Node also speaks to the fact that it's not really about him at this point.
I love that.
And that North Node is about Kamala, I think, because the 7th house is his partnership. So I feel like
I like
you know.
sorry. Let me let
Yeah,
you
go
finish
ahead.
your sentence. Let me let you finish your sentence. No.
No,
Finish.
that's it. I was just rambling after that. So go ahead.
Well, to comment on top of what you were saying about that South Node, I thought that was so powerful. When the South Node is on your body, it's in your first house, it's on your life. Yes, what about you? What everybody knows about you is lost, is going to be gone forever. Now, this can work to his advantage because everybody has known him as vice president and I forget his other, everybody knows him as that. His new thing could be known as president, or he could lose a lot because it's going into the house of losses after the first house. So losing himself, we want to wish that he keeps his mind and so on and so forth. Anybody else? Gemini, I know you got something else to put on that.
Yeah, Karina hit it on the head. I really feel this is about Kamala. It's very interesting because it's like when you say like Joe's had authority before, but I just feel like if we use this time in this chart, it just shows that like with him being a seventh house person, others others are always a part of his rule or his ability to express that, or like he has to check in with someone. So I just looking at it, I don't really see him as someone who others are gravitating towards on their own volition. Like it's Kamala's assisting his campaign greatly,
Mm-hmm.
And for going back to her, I just think her energy speak of her being thrusted into the spotlight at this time. So if they do indeed win, it'll be very interesting to see how the public goes about things, because you know how people can
And
be.
sorry, yeah, keep going.
No, so you know how people when they really mess with someone, they let you know. So it'll be a thing where we know she'll be championed within the urban community. It'll just be interesting to see how the power dynamic between them plays out. So
Yeah,
I agree.
and Joe Biden is also about to have, this is nasty, in his fifth house. Mars is about to conjunct his moon and square his Pluto and Jupiter. There's a big blow up coming up with Biden. I think there's going to be something that's going to come out with him. That's not going to, at least not going to feel good to him. I'll just say it on a simple level. April, sorry, what are you going to say? What did you say? It muffled.
Oh, I just wanted to ask a question.
What's up?
Anyone can answer. Like, did anyone take a look at the dynamics between Biden and Kamala's energy?
Please pull it up. As you were all talking, I wanted to do that. I was like, damn, that should have did synastry. I got to do the synastry on it, right? What? Yes, I would like to at some point, but let's keep going for now. Okay. And in the end, while somebody's talking, maybe we could be pulling it up. Okay, because I think that's an excellent idea. I wanted to see that. But to April, do you have anything to add? Did you add to this part to end it for for Biden?
Just that, if they have his correct birth chart online, like I've noticed, I looked at where Mars and Aries is at for all the candidates, like what houses they're transiting and if they're angling anything and stuff too. And if they have, if this is the right chart, then Mars is in his fifth, which is very competitive. And then for who's it? Oh, for Kamala, Mars is in her 11th, which, could be a disadvantage.
That's Mars opposed Mars, ain't it? Yeah.
For her Mars is in Leo. So
okay, sorry.
You would have a Mars trine. She has a Mars trine going on, but still, like, Mars in the 11th. Like, when people go through a transit like that, it's either they can be a fighter for the people or the people are fighting against
them. Ooh,
yeah,
yes. Clap, church, clap.
And then he has, and if his is, Mars would be in the fifth house for him, which is, it's just competitive. And fifth house could be popularity too, in a sense. But like, yeah. And then Trump, if they have his chart right online, his Mars will be in the 9th house at the time of the election. is what I'm looking at. So they all have Mars in very competitive houses for them, because the ninth house is like your opinions and political stuff.
Beliefs. Yeah. What you think, what do you stand for? Yeah.
Yeah, so they will, I think it's gonna be like a good fight, you know, with all of them. But I think there's some points here that are knocked off for both Biden and Harris with where Mars is at in my from my vision, because
Okay.
you know both those houses are like popularity with people, so that there could be like some backlash that they receive about some things, or
Right.
things they say at the time of the election, and like even a little bit forward than that, because Mars is going to be in Aries until January. It's going to be retrograde until I think the end of November or something like that. So yeah, I did look at Mars for him too. Well, for
Right.
everybody, but yeah, I just
So
wanted
it'll
to.
make him, you believe that Mars is going to make him, now let's say his chart is not correct and the moon is not there. Do you believe that Mars in the fifth house is still going to be hitting Pluto as the month goes on? Do you still believe maybe it could turn to the competitiveness turning against him? What do you think about that last part?
Um, I mean, if there's too much egotistical stuff involved, yeah, because
Mhm.
yeah, if somebody has, you know, when Mars is in the fifth, somebody can be on their soapbox a little bit too much, you know.
That's
And
right. It
yeah,
happens.
and if it's retrograde, then they could do some stupid shit, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
say,
You call him.
like just be a little too much on their high horse, um you know, that can kind of make people look at them like, oh, you just think you're the shit, and I mean, we don't like that, you need to humble yourself.
And
So
it also, bringing that back up again, keeping it real, talking about all sides of things. There are allegations that he's a PEDO. People
oh
are
wow.
accusing him that. Yes, people are accusing him of that. Allegedly, I'm gonna say it again, allegedly, y'all. I am not saying that is what it is, but I'm speaking for the people. And this is what the people are believing. And like I said, this fifth house energy, that Uranus in the fifth house, Pluto is in Leo, and it is squaring Mercury.
Yeah.
All right, keeping it moving. We ready to go on to the next candidate?